Now, as I said in the video on putting and engaging the back of the core, we putt with the back of the core, horizontal plane. We swing with the front of the core on the horizontal plane. So we want to get that set. You want your hip square to dress. If you happen to have Nick Faldo's Golf the Winning Formula, you go to the section right after grip. He's talking about posture. And as he's standing tall, you'll see that he and I both have an internal rotation of that left hand. You can actually see his right hip's higher and his right shoulder's down as he's describing how to set posture. So at address, what that internal rotational left hand generally means is that the hips are rotated in the direction of the internal whichever hand. If it's the right hand that's turned in more, it generally means that see, you can see my hips are wide open. Okay? Now for years, we taught this. Set the posture and add knee flexion. We want to get that straight back. Now look at my hips once I've set the posture this way. And we don't want those rolled shoulders. But if you look at Faldo's book, at address, he doesn't have a flat back. So I began to look at this as we got into the right balance optimization, the Tensegrity exercises, compression exercises, and looked at two things. First of all, looked at Nick Faldo. Let me show you here. So if I go into my set, I'm getting a bad grip. If I get a good grip, my hips will square up here. But notice how open my hips are. If I leave the shoulders rolled, and not only that, if you remember, with the putter we roll back, and with the full swing we roll forward, and look where my hips just went. As soon as I roll forward, and now everything is square. I'm going to do that again. I raise one foot, I disconnect the kinetic chain, everything opens. I'm going to face you in a moment and show you what happens face on. But if I go into my setup, club face is aimed left, hips are wide open, roll the shoulders, and now everything is set. And if my grip matches my stance width, and this one does not, this is a low shaft plane. That's going to change the path even though I am square. That path will tend to start out. If, on the other hand, I have a grip that matches, my grip now, first knuckle up is on the bottom and a mid-core stance width. Hips are open, roll the shoulders, and get set. Now my right hand comes right back, covers that left thumb. I'm in great shape. I have a neutral shaft plane. I'm ready to start that club back on plane. So let's take a look at what happens with this. Very similar to the putter, I have to have a club in the hand to be able to set this. So if I go to mid-core, I get a grip. Ideally you can see from there, yeah, I'm sure you can see my hips are wide open. All I'm doing is rolling the shoulders forward, everything gets set, and I'm good to go. Shaft lean is there, shaft plane is there, and I'm good to go. Not only that, look what happens. See, my hips are square. I mean, the hips are the same height. My hands hang exactly the same now, and my shoulders are level. Raise one foot, disengage, disconnect that kinetic chain, and everything goes open, and hand turns in, right hip rises, right shoulder drops. I can correct all of that at address by getting set. Alignments, there's an awful lot to alignment, there's an awful lot to shaft plane, but we can teach you to set that. So all I have to do now is roll the shoulders forward and I'm good to go. Everything is set. Hips are same height, shoulders level, disconnect the kinetic chain and everything goes back to where it was. Left hand's turned in, right hip's higher, right shoulder's down. So, let's take a look at one more thing. Matt Wolf, great player, works with a great teacher, George Gankus. And Matt Wolf's move has been a puzzle to most. So just looking through the motion he makes is a compression motion. There's tension in the body. We are pre-stressed in the Tensegrity model. So if I were to get set here, and I make that Matt Wolf move, look at my hips now. That just squared me up. So So that's how Matt Wolf is playing. The only downside to that, from where I sit, not to Matt, Matt's playing great with it, is for me, I get set, make that move, everything is good, except my right hip's still higher, my right shoulder's still down. So that's going to impact my turn, that's going to create wear and tear. So let me show you that one more time down the line. I can go anywhere here and ground the club, and I come back and I'm absolutely square, absolutely square, no matter what stance with I'm in. So that's how that motion, unwittingly I would say, Matt Wolf found his way into that. I believe that Faldo did the same. A straight back is not going to work for Faldo. It's not going to work for a lot of players. Doesn't mean you can't reset your posture for a little taller, a little straighter back. After you make that move, that Tensegrity move at address, but you'll get your hips level, hands will hang the same, and if your power spot matches, that's the key. If your power spot doesn't match your stance width, you're gonna suffer in distance. You may hit the ball fat, you may hit it thin, so you still need your stance widths, you still need your power spots, putter through driver. But those moves, you saw the putting moves is just the opposite, gets a great path. This is going to create a very similar path if you have the power spot set on the middle finger.